What's up everyone, I'm Becca and welcome to my channel. When I decided to start playing the Pokemon video game competitively, I thought, this will be easy. I thought I would catch a few Pokemon, throw them on a team, and I'd be able to clear my opponents like I did the gym leaders of Paldea. However, I was in for a rude awakening. There are roughly 500 Pokemon that can be put on a competitive team. Granted, only about 150 of them are viable, but that's still 150 Pokemon whose typing, abilities, common movesets, common held items, common terras, common EV spreads that I should know before competing in a Pokemon tournament. In today's video, I'm going to tell you things that I wish I knew or tried to learn before I entered my first competitive Pokemon tournament. If you like this type of video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more VGC content. Now, let's get into it. The first thing that I wish I did before I entered an official Pokemon tournament was to study the meta of that format. I vaguely knew the Pokemon that I would see at the tournament, but I greatly underestimated how much of those Pokemon I would see. The meta of a format is basically the most common used Pokemon, and it can include their common terras, their common moves, and their common held items. The first time that I competed in a VGC tournament was back in 2023 at the North America International Championship. During that time, some of the most used Pokemon were Chien-Pao, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, and Annihilate, to name a few. Knowing that these are Pokemon I will likely see, it benefits me to come up with a game plan against them. For Fluttermane, I might bring Ting-Lu or a Pokemon that knows Heavy Slam. And for Pokemon like Chien-Pao, Iron Hands, and Annihilate, I might want to bring a Pokemon that knows Will-O-Wisp, so I could burn them and half their attack stat. For Chien-Pao and Iron Hand matchups, it'll be good to bring a Pokemon that knows Intimidate, but I might hesitate to bring that Pokemon against Annihilate, because I don't want to proc its Defiant boost. Keeping in mind the current meta of that format will help you devise your overall gameplay and pick which 6 Pokemon that you should bring to an event. You can find which Pokemon are meta by looking at usage stats, whether it's for online tournaments or in real life events. In the Pokemon Home app, you can see the top 150 Pokemon that are being used on the ranked ladder, or you can use websites like LabMouse. LabMouse is heavy on data usage for teams and Pokemon. Next, I wish I had a better grasp on my playstyle. Knowing your playstyle is extremely important in my opinion. If you're going to compete for 9 rounds, best of 3, you want it to be with a team that you feel comfortable and confident piloting. When I entered my first Pokemon tournament, I still was kind of discovering what my playstyle was. I think I opted to use a more balanced team for that event. However, playing for some time now, I now know that my playstyle is hyper offense. If given the opportunity to attack first, that is exactly what I want to do. Your opponent can't win if they can't attack you. If I was playing a team that better suited my playstyle, I think I would have had better results overall at the tournament, and I definitely would have enjoyed playing more. It's pretty hard to have fun playing a team that you just don't vibe with. The third thing that I wish I did was study my matchups. When you decide on which team to bring to an event, it's beneficial for you to practice common matchups you will likely see. This will help you figure out lines into certain teams and discover weaknesses that you might have in your own team. In finding those weaknesses, you can adjust your team to be better suited for that tournament that you're preparing for. Practice can be done in-game, or you can practice on Showdown, where they have best of 3 open team sheet. It's super important to practice how you play. Practicing in best of 3 open team sheet is a lot more beneficial, and you gain a lot more knowledge and insight as opposed to playing random battles on the ranked ladder. Showdown is also great for its replay feature. You can run back games and review them with your friends and study maybe which plays you could have done differently. You can also use replays to rework the EVs of your Pokemon. You may want to invest more EVs into your Pokemon's respective attack stat to ensure a certain move is always guaranteeing you a KO. Or you might want to dump more EVs in your speed stat to avoid potential speed ties and help you with the order of moves that your Pokemon will act in. You might want to organize the speed of the Pokemon on your team specifically so that certain Pokemon are 1 point faster or slower than others. Let's say I have Miraidon and Iron Crown out at the same time. And across from me is Clefairy and Rapid Strike Urshifu. I know that Clefairy is gonna want to click follow me to redirect an attack away from Urshifu. So I might train my Iron Crown to be a couple points faster than my Miraidon, so I can hit Clefairy with its super effective move and get it out of the way, and my Miraidon will be free to attack into the Urshifu slot. The last thing that I wish I knew going into Pokemon tournaments was speed tiers. I am constantly looking up Pokemon's base speed when I'm playing games on the ranked ladder. Knowing a Pokemon's speed helps you determine several things. It helps you determine if your team needs some speed control options like setting Tailwind or having a Pokemon that knows Thunder Wave. And it helps you decide which moves you should click that turn. Think of which one of your Pokemon are going to move first in order to get a specific KO that you're looking for. Like the Miraidon and Iron Crown example I mentioned earlier. If your opponent sets up Trick Room, do you have a Pokemon that can act in it and possibly underspeed their sweeper? A Pokemon's speed is the one stat that I wish I knew like the back of my hand. Wait, when did that scratch get there? I'm still working on ways to memorize Pokemon speed, so if you have any advice, leave them in the comments below. And those are the things that I wish I knew before I entered an official Pokemon tournament. I hope that you found this video helpful and study up on some of the things that I mentioned in the event that you have a tournament coming soon. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all in my next one.